All right. So we are going to be touching base on the order of operations again, maybe inserting a couple more pieces that would be relevant as we kind of have learned more skills. So you'll remember, I'm sure. I frequently refer to order of operations using this pyramid. We've got some additions, subtraction down at the bottom. Remember, those go left to right. We got some multiplication and division, also goes left to right. When you have more than everything's left to right, to be honest. But those are the two that actually have multiplication and division. Um, Next, we have exponents, and the very first thing we're doing is parentheses. So we start at the top and we work our way down this list. Lots of arrows going on my pyramid. I like it. Um, I'm hoping that feels a little bit like review. If not, some examples will help. So, start simple, just kind of the pieces and parts that we already know and are familiar with. If I had something like 3 plus 4 times 2 equals, um, the, the gist, the idea from our previous unit is that this part gets solved first, right? The answer is not 14 because I'm not adding 3 plus 4 just because it's first. I'm doing all of the parentheses, there aren't any, doing all the exponents, there aren't any, and then I'm going to do this level of multiplication first. And you'll see me write it as sort of this descending, these little rainbows, these little V's that sort of connect and simplify. So I'm showing my one step at a time. That 4 times 2 is 8, and then the 3 stays in its place. And then I have some addition and subtraction. 3 plus 8 is 11. My answer is 11. You don't need this final little potato at the end, but just saying the answer is 11, I guess, would be sufficient. But it's a nice looking potato, so I'm going to go with it. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Well, I'm mixing in two different ideas. The first one is that we want to use parentheses first. So the first thing we're doing is doing parentheses. Even though we see the multiplication, and the emphasis kind of in the first time that we did this was on like, yeah, multiply and divide before you add and subtract. We actually want to make sure we're starting at the top of the top of the pyramid every time with parentheses. And in this instance, we have two of them. So I need to make sure that I'm doing from left to right. And so I've got 2 plus 1 is 3. Everything else stays the same. And then 4 minus 1, also 3. The second thing I want to draw our attention to is this new addition to our skill set, which is funny because it's actually multiplication. This new multiplication to our skill set, which we're going to see, and I encourage you to remind me to use more and more, which is the dot in place of multiplication. As we use more variables and we start to use x as a thing that means something else, multiplication needs to show up elsewhere. The one time that you will consistently see the x used as multiplication is when you're vertically multiplying. Wrong pen. So if I were to write 142 times 31, I'm not going to solve that right now, but you'll still see it because this is distinctly not an x or a part of the equation. It means multiplication. So that is still how we will do double, and this one's triple digit multiplication, and that remains consistent. Otherwise, when you see me do horizontal work, which is much more frequent in order of operations, for instance, I'm going to use the dot to represent multiplication. Which brings us to my final point, which is 3 times 3. 3 times 3, which is 3 squared, is 9. That was just a little exponent knowledge I'm dropping on you there. All right, so starting at the top of our pyramid, first thing I'm going to do is my parentheses. So 4 plus 1 is in fact 5, and I keep everything else the same. The next step is not the division, it's the exponent. 4 squared doesn't mean 8, doesn't mean 4 times 2. It means 4 times 4, which is in fact 16. You'll see me simplify just to kind of draw the connection of like, there's not two things that I'm combining like you saw up at the top, but I still like to show my layer. And then the part that stays the same is on the left-hand side here, so I'm just breaking it down piece by piece. And what's funny here is I had shown my alternative multiplication symbol. I know that division sometimes is written like that. More and more we'll start to see this slash used. And so it leaves us with this weird problem of 5 divided by 16. And if we go way back, and we will be touching base on this idea of like, I can do 5 divided by 16, I'll need some decimal points. I'm actually not going to do that here because what I'd rather for this order of operations part is draw our attention to like, I don't need to use decimals. And in fact, I can recognize that decimals and fractions can be used to represent the same piece. So that slash being division, it is also a fraction. It is 5/16. It's 5 waiting to be divided by 16, which is a perfectly good fraction, which does not simplify, and is the answer that I'm looking for here. Could I find the decimal equivalent using this? Yes. I'm just not asking you to. All right, now we're cooking up some weird stuff. Um, Before I get into the new thing, which is my exponent and fraction work there, hopefully you're kind of catching me in observing that like I need to get rid of this guy. So I'm intentionally making this bigger. I like the semi-grid, the little dots as my grid, but I needed a little more workspace in this one. So there we go. Okay, so you end up with kind of a tie here because the fraction on the left is inside of parentheses, but there's nothing actually to do in there. There is, it's a division problem, but we're not going to do that, right? I just clarified that we were going to be using fractions as fractions in this instance. So even though there's a parentheses and even though it is on the left, it isn't something that requires action or solution. So there's nothing inside of that to do. Versus the one on the right is a simplifiable problem for us. So I'm going to take this one on the right and make it into 18 because 6 times 3, that little dot, can be simplified. So what am I looking at this thing on the right? Well, I'm going to do a little sidebar. And often you'll notice that I do that when I need to solve something but I don't want to clutter up my order of operations work. So I'm going to do a little sidebar and think about what is the exponent telling me to do? Well, it's telling me that I've got 2/3, and I have 2 of those, and I need to multiply them together. Well, all of that is stuff I know how to do now. Like, I can totally do this exponent of a fraction. It's a weird thing. I don't know how useful and how often you will see that. You might see a square where one side is 2/3, and you need a square of 2/3. But I'm just drawing your attention to, even though that looks really unusual to have an exponent of a fraction, it means something that we already totally understand. And there's 2 different ways that you can solve these, both of which are very intuitive. One is to write it out like I did. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9. The second one is to move the exponent inside the parentheses and kind of think about it as 2 squared over 3 squared. That is a square. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. Either way, you're going to get 4/9. So just for what it's worth. Oh no, I did it again. Magic dot. Haha! Either way, however it is easier for you to think about it, I won't even tell you which is the right way. There isn't one. Both kind of have their time and place. But however you want to think about it, as long as you end up with 4/9, we're a happy camper. So I'm going to come back down here and say 4/9 times 18. Interestingly, also looks unusual and daunting in this order of operations setting because we didn't know how to do this at the beginning of the year. But we very much know how to do this now, which is to say I know how to find 4/9 of 18. And we actually have several different techniques to do it in this instance. One of them is to do 4 times 18 and get 72 and say it's 72 over 9 and then work on simplifying. The other strategy that is I think a little more intuitive or natural for us at this point, because it works here, is to say, well, I know that 1/9 of 18 is 2, and so if I had 4 of those, it would be 4 times 2. Either way, because 9 goes into 72 8 times, either way, you're going to end up with 8. There are more. We could rewrite this as a more traditional multiplication problem. 18 is 18 over 1. And then we multiply across, sort of like what we did up here. Use the kind of traditional algorithm. Either way, you're going to get 8. Any of the ways, you always end up with 8. Because it's the answer. All right, here's a couple for you to solve. Notice I put a beautiful replicate of the order of operations pyramid down here in the bottom. So here's for two for you. Problem A is 3 cubed, or 3 to the third power, divided by 4 plus 4 plus 1. It's a parentheses problem that has more than 2 numbers in it, but I got faith in you. Do your best. Or B is 2/3 times 5 squared minus 4 squared. And so we're mixing in parentheses and exponents there. But follow the rules. Tackle what's inside parentheses first. Once you've addressed everything that's going on inside the parentheses, then you can worry about the rest of the problem. Inside the parentheses, the same rules of order operation apply. All right, good luck.